From the Banks & Jones Attorneys Play to Win Studios at banksandjones.com, this is your Praise 96.3 WJBZ FM, Seymour, Knoxville.
Praise 96.3.
The way to start your Saturday projects every week. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into Rick's House Live on your Praise 96.3, live from the Sanders Plumbing Company studios of Praise 96.3. Morning, Saturday morning. Good to be here with you this morning. Vance and I, and Miss Patty's in with us today, so we're excited about that. We're looking forward to talking to you. If you'd like to call us in today, we would love to hear from you. Our call-in line is 865-577-4885, 865-577-4885. That's how you get us on the program. Also, we'd love to hear from you if you want to text us. If you want to text us, you can do that by calling us at 865-255-3911. 865-255-3911. And we'd love to hear from you this morning. If you've got a home improvement question or you'd like us to answer something about a project you're working on, that kind of stuff. Vance, good morning, brother. How is ye?
Good morning. I'm doing good. These allergies, though, man, they're killing me.
What?
It's allergies.
Allergies. Yeah, I know you've been
coughing my head off for a couple of days.
You've been coughing and hacking and snorting and.
Yeah, well, I haven't been snorting. I quit that years ago.
All right, we're live and making it happen on the phone line. So we got that going on this morning. Good morning, Anita. Good to see you in there this morning. Cozy Mountain Cabins, one of our favorite places in the whole world, Vance. We're going to be visiting Cozy Mountain Cabins and enjoying, she's got so many cabins up there. If you want to be in Cosby, on the creek, or you want to be in the Gatlinburg in the Arts and Crafts District, you want to be over towards Sevierville, you want to be down toward Gatlinburg itself, Pigeon Forge, wherever you may be, she's got a cabin. I'm talking about if you want to sleep 2 people or you want to sleep 25 people, Nita can make it happen. And she tempted me last night. I saw on her Facebook page she had a Mexican place up there that she had shown a picture of the meal that she had. And oh my good gracious, it's somewhere in Sevierville. We're going to have to try that out. It looked absolutely fantastic. And they had the white cheese dip. You like the white cheese dip.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you like the white cheese. Cozy Mountain Cabins, Cozy with a Z, CozyMountainCabins.com. Or you can give Anita a call directly at 865-660-0340. Maybe you've got a group that you want to take for the weekend retreat or take your employees up, or just you and Mama want to get away in a cabin. She can make it happen. And I'm telling you, you can eat off the floor in the places she takes care of. That's how she does her business. And she's been a friend of this program for a long time. We thank the world of her. And good morning. So we are glad to have y'all join us on the chat.
Hey, Anita.
And Miss Anita, we're glad to see you in there this morning. My daughter-in-law, always sending up some prayers for her this morning. She is due to have our grandbaby, a new one for us here any day, and has COVID.
Oh wow!
And so, but she's getting better. She's getting better, so she's doing just fine. So just send a little prayer up for her, and make sure that she feels good and gets that done. Also, our friends over at Costa Oil over on Chapman Highway, 6537 Chapman Highway. Jesse and the team over there does a fantastic job. That's who we're using for oil changes and stuff now.
They really do.
They do a great job. And you can go by and they've got a flat rate special running right now. That's a fantastic deal. I think it's $39 and $69 or $39 and $79. I can't remember, but I'll look it up and get it right here in the morning. Good morning. Good to see y'all, everybody that's joining us on the program. So we got lots to talk about today. I'm excited about that. I got to thinking this past week, we had an electrical issue, And it made me think about Steve. Good to see you this morning, brother, down in Georgia. Thanks for listening to us. Good to see you. Glad to have you in on the program. Hope you and Miss Kathy and the gang's doing well. His wife, Kathy, makes the best street tacos you ever eat in your life. I'm telling you what's the truth. I don't know what she does, but it's delicious.
I'll stick with the inside taco.
Yeah, she does. She does, man. She makes a street taco. Oh my goodness, it's fantastic. It's just delicious. This past week, I kept smelling electrical smell. And so I think we talked about this a little bit. I don't know if we did or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, last week, I think we did. Well, this week we got that fixed, and man, what a difference it made. And that's the thing is we got the electricians out there to take care of it. And they had to replace the entire outlet that was on the trailer itself, plus had to replace the cord. And all that happened from just a loose connection. And y'all hear me all the time talk about, how a loose connection can really mess up your day. And excuse me. Now you got me doing it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate you passing that on to me, brother.
I turned my mic off, though. I didn't cough in the mic.
Yeah, I know what I did. Well, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It'd be okay.
I forgive you.
I'll push some coffee down my gullet, and that'll take care of that. But
there you go.
We had to take care of that issue, and it was amazing to me. It never kicked the breaker, and that's the thing that kind of puzzled me.
That's concerning.
That's concerning, and it should have kicked the breaker because it literally melted the plug down, and the neutral was loose. And why it didn't kick a breaker, I don't know. But
You
just
might need
that
a
connection being
breaker.
Yeah, but that connection I had everything checked, so they took care of everything that needed to be took care of. But X is in the house this morning. Good morning, X. Good to see him in there. Xavier and Tyler and Josh and the whole bunch over at Weekend RV Center. Now listen, we got an event coming up. We're so excited. September.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. September the 7th. Let me get my notes out here because there's so much going on. I don't want to miss a thing. September the 7th, it's a goodbye summer, hello fall blowout sale. You can save thousands, up to 50% off the MSRP price. Cash and gift card giveaway also every hour. And Rick's also has some stuff to give away too.
Ooh.
Free coffee and donuts 8 till 10, and food trucks 10 to 1. Jeeps and classic car cruise in all day. And of course, I'll be there live for Saturday morning at 1458 Clinton Highway at Weekend RV Center. September the 7th. Listen, we want you to come out there. All new and pre-owned campers are on sale. Here's your chance to save thousands. There's, like I said, cash, gift cards, giveaways every hour from 10 to 1. No purchase necessary to win. You don't have to own a camper to win. If you just want to come out and check out the campers and see the cruise in, that'll be fine. Hopefully you'll come by and visit us. We'll be there to do a live remote from 8 to 10.
You may have just lost some people by saying you'd be there. I don't know.
Well, if you ain't there, they probably won't come, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
But like I said, classic cars, Jeeps, muscle cars, trucks, motorcycles, welcome for the cruise in. Of course, we're going to have lots of prizes, and for the oldest car, truck, longest distance award, and people's favorite. And then, of course, food trucks will be there for lunch. Vance, you're coming after you get off the air, I think, aren't you?
I hope to. Yes.
Yeah. So you'll be out there with us too. So come by and see us and say hello, and we'll get to visit with you, and we'll be having different guests on from Weekend RV Center talking about all the things camper related. So if you're interested in that, we want to ask you to come out and be a part of that and get you on there. Good morning, Brian. Good to see you, Sebastian. Good to see you this morning. Appreciate everybody joining us on the program. We're so excited about the live remote. It's going to be great. And like I said, if you've not been out to Weekend RV Center, it's really pretty. Right,
it's
there.
an adventure.
It is an adventure, and so you'll be able to get out there and just take a look. And if you're thinking about that camper, you're thinking about, now's the time to come out there and take a look. Like I said, they'll have a lot of good used opportunities out there, and of course new campers as well, with the full line of what they have, whether it's a Rockwood or whether it's a Cherokee or the new line that they've got out there where they can show you. And, the thing is you're not just going in blind. When you go to Weekend RV Center, they're going to take you through, they're going to show you, you've got questions, they're going to listen to what you're looking for, and then they're going to place you with the right camper and the right opportunity so that you can enjoy like we did for 3 years on the road and still have our camper with us now, because it's just one of those kinds of things. And if you get it right in the beginning, we did a lot of research, but if you get it right in the beginning, then you've got something worth doing.
Yeah.
You got something that you can enjoy, and it works well for us. Now, as we've been in our travel trailer for a pretty good while now, there's some things we're going to change and some things we're doing to upgrade, but most of that we got worked out on the front end. And thank goodness for Xavier and Tyler and Josh and the team. When we were traveling all across the country, if I had a problem, I pick up the phone, call them here.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this is what's going on. And Xavier, he's like, well, have you tried this? And I'm like, no. He said, well, try that. Call me back. So it's good to have that kind of support when you're on the road and you're learning about.
Yes, it is. And if it's something that requires service by a professional, he can locate someone for you where you are, and
absolutely,
voila.
You can hold it down there to them and they'll fix it. I mean, they're doing the roof on my best friend's travel trailer right now, putting everything back the way you got a leak and putting that all back, putting out some new stabilizer jacks on the front of it and getting it up to speed so it's ready to roll. So they can handle it. It don't matter what it is, especially they put that continuous hot water system in for me. Man, that's the ticket right there. And when the power went out the other day, I was thinking, oh boy, it went out on Friday, and then we did the show on Saturday. And I'm thinking, well, there's hot water in the line right now because this hose has been out in the sun. I better go ahead and try to get me a shower because I don't want to go in Vance or fuss if I go in there.
Instead, he came in here stinking.
And I came in there stinking, so I can't do that. So I got in there, and then I realized, hey, I looked up on the board of where all the controls are for the hot water and pump and all that kind of stuff. Looked up and I said, wait a minute, my hot water's running. I got continuous hot water because it's a 12-volt system and it was running off them two deep cell batteries and that solar system, a solar panel we got on top of that. So I had me a hot shower. That's awesome. Even if you're on the road and you're boondocking, you put that continuous hot water system in, you got hot water. I don't care if you're sitting in a Walmart parking lot. If you got water, you can take a hot shower, and that makes Mama real happy.
I'd say so.
Absolutely. So we got that going on. So don't mark it on your calendar, September 7th, the Goodbye Summer, Hello Fall Weekend RV Center sale, and Rick's House will be there. We are excited about that, and it's going to be great, and we'll have an opportunity to visit with you, and that's always important in what we do.
Question,
sir.
If you go somewhere after boondocking,
yeah,
can you go somewhere and when you hook up, does the batteries automatically recharge?
They do. They do.
Yep, that's a good thing.
And so the thing about it is what we just have one solar panel, and it's a 50-watt solar panel. So basically what's happening is while we're traveling, now the refrigerators that we have now, our refrigerator used to, they either worked on propane or they worked on AC electricity. And so, but the refrigerator we have works on it doesn't work on propane. It works on either the AC power, that's when you're plugged in, once you're plugged into the camp spot where you're at. If your travel trailer is plugged into your truck where your lights are running, then it's also charging the batteries. And because your alternator in your vehicle is doing that. And then the third thing is if you have a solar panel, when it's just sitting there, it's trickle charging it, keeping those batteries up to speed. So our refrigerator, like most of them do now, runs off of 12-volt DC. So I turn my propane off. I don't have to have my propane on when I'm moving. I don't like to have it on. I want that turned off because you never know. And then it's running off the DC power. And so our refrigerator's ice cold. Everything stays cold. You don't have to, so when we stop for lunch, we can just go in through the front bedroom and into the kitchen and make lunch, and if we boondock or whatever. So yes, it does. They're constantly running. It'll run that refrigerator. Those two batteries will run that refrigerator about 4 or 5 days.
Wow, they've thought of everything.
Absolutely, and it'll also run your our lights. Now we can't run our outlets, but it will run our lights, and then we have USB ports that it'll run. So if you want to plug the computer in and put something on, stream it online, you can do that. I mean, it's really cool. It makes for convenience, because I've reached a point in my age at 56 that Daddy's going to be in comfort. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm traveling, I'm going to be in comfort. We ain't going to. We're going to have air conditioning. Yes, sir.
Well, traveling in comfort to me is like driving a pickup truck on the way wherever I'm going.
Yeah, as long as the air blows cold, everything's good.
Oh, well, I don't have that.
You got that 260 air?
I do.
Two windows down,
270 actually.
270. So we're excited about that. So you can come by and learn more about when we get out there and just, find out the new options, what's available. And of course they have the all electric campers now too. That's the new thing that's on the market is all electric campers. It's what the market bears. Or back on. Let's see if we got that done.
I'm already getting text about it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're back on live on Rick's house. So I was able to put the Rick's house phone line back on and get back on our Wi-Fi there so that we got that. So now, apologize for the interruption, folks. We're back. Appreciate that making it happen. I was looking, and there's all kinds of, you see all this stuff online all the time and about, getting good deals and some of the things that you need to know about when you're thinking about the big box retailers, or if you're talking about home improvement projects and that kind of stuff. So we're going to take that first time out. And when we get back from that first time out, then I'm going to share with you some secrets, things just to think about where you can help get a deal and make that project go. Every dime counts now. We got to do that. So when we come back from the timeout, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Phone lines are open, 865-577-4885. If you got a home improvement question, we'd love to chat with you this morning live from the Sanders Plumbing Company studios of Your Praise 96.3. Hang on, it's Rick's house. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. And let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products,
You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hey, y'all, being from the country, I've learned one thing for sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and a bad one. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Got a question? Rick's got the answers for all your home improvement questions. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House on Praise 96.3, live from the Sanders Plumbing Company studios of Praise 96.3. We appreciate you this morning and glad you're listening to us. We'd love to be answering the questions that help you with your projects. You can always call us at 865-577-4885, 865-577-4885. And, of course, we are going to be spending some time up at Cozy Mountain Cabins coming up in the next couple of days, and so we're excited about that. Listen, if you're looking for a place to go, a cabin to spend time at, whether it's 2 people or 25 people, call Anita at Cozy Mountain Cabins. That's Cozy with a Z, CozyMountainCabins.com, and tell her that we sent you, and she'll take care of you. Or you can call her directly at 865-660-0340 and find that experience for family or just to get away, or for you and mama or whoever you want to go. Whether you want to be on the creek, or you want to be in Cosby, you want to be in Pigeon Forge, you want to be in Gatlinburg, you want to be over on the arts and crafts side, whatever. They've got those cabins, and they're fantastic, from tiny houses all the way up to the huge Windchimmer cabin up at Cobley Knob. That's, I don't know how many people that sleeps, 20 something people probably. It's crazy. It's got a theater in it. It's nuts. It's just crazy. It's something else. So go by and see them. Tell them that we sent you, and they'll take awesome care of you and treat you like you ought to be treated. Now, I didn't know this, and I thought this was interesting. You know, we're always wondering about how we can make, save a few dollars, especially in this economy. I mean, we all have, where houses are absolutely insane. The cost of living's insane. The price of gas is insane. Have you been to the grocery store lately?
And what's wrong with this economy? It's just great.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kamala.
That's walls to you.
Yeah. But anyway, it's one of those things that I can't believe the price of stuff. I mean, we were at the store the other day, and I was just looking, and ground chuck, $5.99 a pound.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. And all those kinds of things. So whenever you can save a little bit, we're always about that. And so I saw an article. And I was reading about it, and it reminded me of when I worked in the retail store, when I worked at Lowe's and was a manager for the millwork department. And it reminded me of some things. There's some codes on there, and this is talking about Home Depot. And but this works. And I'm gonna read it because they say it better than I can. The secret language of price tags. The secret language of price tags. Most retailers use a series of codes and special prices to secretly label their products. Sales associates use them to sort and to move merchandise. And so it says, we've broken the code and you can snatch up these items at their lowest price point. Now, here's the deal. In Home Depot's case, look for yellow price tags. So if you're in Home Depot, and this is an article that it's not my doing, it's right out of the Family Handyman. It says, look for the yellow price tag. If the sales price ends in a 0.06, then there are 6 weeks left before the item is priced lower. Then it goes to a 0.03. Then after that, the item will be moved to clearance or donated to charity within 3 weeks. So if you're watching those, now think about that a minute. If you look at a yellow price tag and the price ends with a 0.06, that means there's 6 weeks left before they drop it to a 0.03, and then there's 3 weeks left before they put that item on clearance or before that item is donated to charity. Pretty good information. Also, they have the low price guarantee. So a price saving tip that requires no negotiating at all the Home Depot's low price guarantee for in-store purchases. If you find a lower price on an identical in-stock item from a competitor, they'll match the price. Now, also, I didn't realize this, but they also have a policy of retroactive sales. And a lot of companies have this. There's nothing more aggravating than finding that the tool you need and then buying it and heading home only to see it go on sale the same time you visit the store next week. If this happens to you, all you have to do is head into the store and claim your savings. If you buy something at a Home Depot store and then it goes on sale for a lower price within 30 days, save your receipts, folks. You got to save your receipts. This is important. If you buy something and it goes on sale and you see it for a lower price, all you got to do is take your receipt in and they will refund you the difference. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Also, we did this all the time. Now, they do this. I see this a lot at Lowe's and Home Depot both. They have discounts on cull lumber. They'll take lumber that's warped on the end, or those kinds of things, and they'll discount it. And so there's some values to be, and usually that's negotiable if you can get with a store manager or an assistant manager, and because they just want rid of it. I mean, it's no good to them. And if it's 8 foot 2 to 6 and you can use 6 feet of it, then hey, that's all the better. So there's an opportunity there. The other thing is the paint departments. When I was building houses back in the day, this is before we had Advantech for floors and all the good things that we have now to keep those floors working the way that they, protected from the weather. And so the first thing we did is once we got our trusses up and our floor joists and we got our subfloor on, the first thing I did is I would go to the local paint stores and I would buy mist tints and oil-based paint, and I would paint those floors. Now they'd be pink and purple and yellow and brown and every color of the rainbow, but I didn't care, because it wasn't going to be seen. I was just trying to take the floor and to put it into proportion so that it was protected from those things. And so the mist tints, they have a lot of mist tint paint. Now that's not to say that you can't, if you're looking for a certain color, that's not to say that you might not buy it at a mist tinted version of that. And or be able to mix a couple together, those kinds of things, and get that paint, because paint's expensive. So who's on the phone, Dance?
We have Brian on the phone.
Brian's on the phone. Okay. So those mist tints are something really cool should we take a break and then go to Brian probably? Yeah, let's do that. So those mist tint paint colors, you can get a really good discount on that if you can live with the color. And then there's all kinds of opportunities to get that projects done and get those projects done right. So we're going to take a short time out. When we come back, we're going to have Brian on the phone. And then we're going to continue to talk about the secrets of how you save money in the home improvement world. You're listening to Rick's House. Hang on, y'all.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing, quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here on 96.3 FM, Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales or service or parts or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we were on the road all over the United States, and they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV in on a trade. They can sell you a new RV, but most of all, they're going to treat you like family. You're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folk who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690, 865-599-1690.
Don't let do-it-yourself become do-it-to-yourself. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House, live from the Sanders Plumbing Company studios. Praise 96.3, your Praise 96.3. And we go to the phone lines to Brian this morning and see what's going on out in the Great West, my brother.
Hey, good morning there, Rickster. I really appreciate you taking my call, and my new best friend, Vance, did an outstanding job making sure that I was going to talk to you about motorhomes and things like that. I got a couple of questions for you, and I'm really running into some issues.
Okay.
And the issues, what I'm seeing is my wife and I would like to buy a motorhome. We want to buy a motorhome that has something like the Ford truck front end.
Yeah, Class C.
Class B.
Class
and
C.
Then
Class C.
B.
No, it's
C.
a C.
Okay.
A B is a van. So Class A is the flat nose, the big ones that look like a tour bus. Class B is a van. Class C has a cab front end like a Ford Econoline and a trailer on the back of it.
That's what we were kind of looking at. But the problem that I'm seeing is that the Class A that looks like the school bus type of thing.
The Class A has a flat front end.
Flat front end, and it's a complete motorhome all the way to the back,
Yes.
where it has some pop outs.
Yes, and Class C can have pop outs, and so can a van. You know, they can all have slide outs on them. The Class C is the difference with the Class C is there's two types of Class C's, Brian. There's one that has like a box truck. The Class C looks like a box truck. So it's got a van front end and then it's got a box on the back of it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Like a U-Haul truck.
Got it.
Yeah. Then you have what's called a Super C. Now, Super C has a truck front end on it, which is a tractor, like a tractor trailer, and then a box on it. That's called a Super C. And so
They look super too.
yeah, they do. I'd love to have a Super C. If I had the money, that's what I would buy.
Well, Brian's got the money.
But you know, Brian's loaded.
Hell no.
He calls in here like he's a poor little security guy, but no, he's loaded.
That guy's got like 22 custom cars.
He does. You can't hide money. You just can't hide it.
No.
You know. Ain't that right, Brian?
yeah. You roll with that. I've only got 3. my question though.
Did you have money
is,
until you started into loving hot rods?
Yeah, that happened very quickly. It was not anything that took its time. That's for sure. But my wife is looking at, we're about ready to retire. Our business is for sale. We've got people wanting to buy our business. And I'm thinking that what I'm seeing, and this is, of course, on Facebook, and not any place else, but some dealerships. They're wanting to, the motorhomes that are basically like a bus that you were talking about with two pop outs. 1991 has 21,000 miles on it. It's been sitting. My mom and my dad own this, and they can't drive it anymore, and it's sitting there. Mm-hmm. And my concern is I'm not real up on these pop out things. And is these pop out things going forward with that year of vehicle? Is that where the problem kind of started?
Well, here's the things that you need to know about the slides. There's a couple things to think about, and Xavier and I were talking about this at Weekend RV Center this past week as we were planning for the live remote from there on September the 7th. We're really excited about there. We're going to have a whole team down there, going to have a cruise in and going to have, prizes for the oldest car, the farthest distance, the Jeeps, motorcycles, the whole deal. Plus, we're going to be having 50% off MSRP on several campers. And so we got all that stuff going on. So as we were sitting in the showroom down there this past week talking about this live remote we're going to do on Saturday, September the 7th, he and I were talking about some of those things because, for instance, in my travel trailer on my slide, I have 2 slides in my living room, which you've seen a picture of it, Brian. So you kind of know what it looks like. So our living room, the travel trailer is 7'11" wide because you can't be over 8'1" to be legal going down the road. So what happens is the slides are roughly 3 feet deep and 6 feet wide. And so those slides are on hydraulic. They have hydraulic cylinders under them, but they have a toothed gear and a rail that's toothed. And so when I push the hydraulics, what happens is the slides, the hydraulic rolls that out. Well, when I drug this thing all over the country, never put a scratch on it until I got to my buddy's driveway and was coming down his driveway and ended up getting part of it hung up on a fence. Well, when I did that, what happened was it kind of pushed the slide a little bit. So when I got the trailer there and I got the slide pushed out, it caused it to, I had something that had, actually it was a battery out of the TV remote that had fell out and I didn't realize it. And it hung up underneath the slide. And when it did that, it caused the slide to jump the track, 2 teeth. And so now we've got to take the pressure off of it, and there's adjustments under there to push it out and all those kinds of things. It still seals up, but it's off about a 1/2 inch, which drives me crazy. And so that's the next thing that we're going to do. The issue with slides is this. When they build these slides, if you maintain them, there's not a problem with them. But a slide is going to leak. That's just a fact of nature. It's a rolling vehicle. It's moving down the road. It's constantly bending and so forth. So there's constant, you have to be aware of that maintenance that you have constantly. The thing about the slides is the first thing that you need to do, if you look at the side of that slide when it's out, the metal comes down and then there's a rubber gasket that goes all the way around it. We clean and treat that rubber gasket about every 3 months with a gasket cleaner to keep it pliable so that it seals up. The other thing that you have to do is when the metal comes down, they put a little bar horizontally across the bottom of it. And that bar is what covers the edge of the metal and the edge of the plywood subfloor. Well, they don't seal those real good. I mean, they just don't. They don't take the time they should to seal them properly, and they don't tape them. They don't do anything but put a little caulk on it. When that caulk breaks free, water runs down the side of that slide, and then it turns and it goes behind that metal bar, and it goes, and you've got a raw edge of plywood there, and it sucks that water in, which rots your floor about 6 inches in. So the first thing that you got to do is make sure that's sealed. And once I figured out that was a problem, and I had the guys told me, and I figured out that I had that going on 2 of my slides, not all 3 of them. Then I bought some Gorilla tape that's good underwater, and I taped those metal pieces off, and it stopped it, and we ain't had a problem since. The other key to slides is making sure that you have the awning over them. You know, the awning that as the slide comes out, it rolls out and unrolls, and it's a canvas tarp, so to speak, over the top of it, and that sheds the water away. You know, those are the things that you have to be aware of with slides, and you got to make sure that you don't have anything binding them or doing any of that kind of stuff. And you want to make sure that you're out and that you've leveled up before you run those slides out. Because if the box is in a bind, it can cause the slide to get in the bind. So that's my take on it.
And no, I appreciate that. And when you're paying astronomical amount of money for these motorhomes with these pop-outs and these ongoing problems, and I can see now by these Facebook postings that, hey, I've only got this amount of miles, I did have some roof leakage, I can sell you this for this price, and it's a good price. It sounds to me like we need to stay away, again, from pop-outs and stay with Winnebagos, going forward. I mean, you're paying an astronomically amount of money, and all of a sudden your pop-outs are leaking.
Yeah, if you have slides, there's going to be maintenance, and there's going to be issues. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. My concern, and I've thought about this a lot, and this is something I've got a friend who's another friend of mine who's an RV technician that works at a different company, but that's what he does for a living. And I asked him, I was talking to him the other day about something else because we've known each other a long time, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm putting a new motor in a Class A." I said, "Really?" He said, "Got a lot of miles on it?" He said, "No, 14,000." I said, "You're doing what? You're putting a new motor in it?" He said, "Yeah." He said, you know, being a car guy, and I'm not a car guy. I can tell you whatever you want to know about your house, but as far as cars and stuff, that's not my forte. But you know what happens to a vehicle when it sits. It's just like a building. It will deteriorate. That's part of it. So I'd almost, when it's got low miles, that's great, but that means it's set a lot too. And right. So, to me, that's a concern. If I could buy whatever I wanted to, and because we're going to sell the travel trailer eventually and get us something that we can drive, just for convenience sake when we get our house done. But when that happens, if I had my druthers and if I had the money to do it, I'd buy a Super C, because that's a diesel tractor that's made to drive 500,000 miles. You know what I'm saying? So yep. It's built to do that. It's built to run. It's built to idle. It's built to do all those things that, just in my opinion, I would spend the extra money to buy that Super C if I could.
Rick, what happened in the motorhome industry when you're paying back a few years ago the same amount of money for that motorhome that you paid for your house? And your house isn't leaking with pop-outs and things like that. And now you're dealing with something, that was built in 2003. It's got 6,000 miles on it, but it might be leaking.
Well, I think that's a great point, and I would lend, and I think Xavier and Tyler and Josh would agree with this. when you're dealing with something that moves and something that sits, and you never know what kind of maintenance it's had done to it. If you look at a house, if we're talking about, well, I'm going to buy this house, I can go into that house and do an inspection and tell you what's wrong with it, pretty easily. But in a travel trailer or a Class C or Class A or Class B, whatever, or Super C or whatever you're looking at, there's unknowns in there. And I think there's two things. When you buy a used vehicle, you want to do that from a dealer. I'm not going to buy a used RV from an individual. I'm just not going to do it because I don't know if they've maintained it properly. I don't know what they've done. I don't know if they've emptied their black water tank and their gray water tank like they should. I don't know those things. So if I was to do that, I'm going to plan on having to fix some of those things. Does that make sense? Because
totally makes sense, Rick. And my wife was saying the exact same thing. Why are you trolling on Facebook instead of just going down to the RV dealership and seeing what they've got? And if you got to pay it $6,000 or $7,000 more, at least you've got some sort of guarantee.
Exactly, and I agree with her completely. If Xavier and them when they take trade-ins, and they sell a lot of used RVs. They're going to go through that RV. They're going to put a technician in there, and he's going to go through, and he knows exactly what to check. He's going to check the slides. He's going to check the gaskets. He's going to check the roof. He's going to check the plumbing. He's going to check the gas lines. He's going to check everything about that RV and make sure it's functioning properly before they put it on their lot and sell it. If there's problems that are too expensive to fix and they can't get the value back out of it, they're going to wholesale it, just like a used car. So the other issue that we've had, Brian, is in the last several years with the production that went when COVID hit. And they were the travel trailer that I bought. There were I found two of them in the entire east of the Mississippi. There were two of them, one in Georgia and the one I bought in Kentucky of this particular model, because the one in Georgia, actually I had a better deal on that one, but they'd been robbing parts off of it to put on other RVs because of the COVID thing. They were so behind in production. They were running 3 shifts, 24 hours a day, and they were slapping them things together. And just the quite honestly, because of the need and as fast as they were building them, the quality went down. I'm just being honest. That's trying to get get them out the door. Kind of thing.
Oh, no. And I totally get that, Rick, because that sounds exactly like Boeing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I'm just looking, through these things on Facebook. Hey, I've got this motorhome. It's only got 2,900 miles on it. It has some pop-out leaks. It's been sitting for a year or two. For my health reasons, I couldn't go out and take it out. And I think that I'm willing to pay more to go to a dealership to make sure that I'm going to go ahead and purchase something and it has a warranty, even though it's used.
Well, that would be that's my perspective. You get a company like Weekend RV. And, the thing about it is anything that they've got on their lot, I would not have a problem purchasing whatsoever, new or used, because I know they've been through it, and Xavier's been doing this since he was a kid, and he's my age. So, he knows, and they stand on their reputation because they want to sell you a travel trailer or RV, and then they want to sell your neighbor one, and then they want to sell one to your neighbor's neighbor and your neighbor's kid, and all that kind of stuff. So, they are. You're getting an assurance there. Yeah, did I pay a little bit more than I did from the individual? Yeah, but did I get did I save myself a bunch of headaches? Absolutely. That's
But and my wife, she's saying, hey, you're trolling Facebook and you're looking at these vehicles with these extremely low miles. But if you look at them, they're in 1996, 97, 98. So where in the heck were they at with this low mileage? and she's kind of like you. Even maybe that SUV or the motorhome with the more mileage on it was taken care of more than the one that's only got 20,000 or 2,500 miles on it, and it's a 1997.
Well, I'd have to agree with her. I mean, that's just, when we're talking about, motorhomes, I think that usage is not a bad thing. Because, if it's run that long, it's been maintained. And that's the thing, especially if you go to a dealer. Brian, if you'd like to hang on, I'll be glad to continue to talk to you about this, but I've got to take a time out. If you do that, well, we continue talking about it. And like I said, we can talk about some other issues now. Like I said, we're going to, and also I wanted to share with you that I got a phone call yesterday from my son, Austin, who passed. His best friend, Stephen, has started he's opened an insurance agency, and he does property and casualty. And he and I had a great conversation yesterday about drones flying over your house and what insurance companies are doing, and what he's finding as he's going through finding carriers to sell their product, and about how difficult it's becoming to get insurance on your house or other things if you're in rural communities and all that kind of stuff, and what the insurance companies are doing. And so I found that really interesting. And he's coming on Rick's house on the last day of September, the last Saturday in September, and we're going to talk all things insurance. We're going to talk Medicare. We're going to talk property casualty, retirement, all those kinds of things. And so that's going to be a great show.
Yes, and that would be something that I would definitely be listening to, being a security company and being insured by Lloyd's of London, and Lloyd's of London, which is your very high quality insurance and covers everything.
Sure.
And they're backing out, and Progressive is backing out. All these insurance companies are backing out right now and creating a problem for my commercial business that I do. And I've had 0 claims in 40 years. I work for a school district. We're out at night. We don't meet anybody. We just tug on doors. And it's been nothing but a joke going forward with insurance companies.
Well, he told me in our conversation yesterday, and this is a very well-known insurance provider in the country, and he told me, he said, Rick, he said this year, this particular company, and I'm not mentioning names, but this particular company, he said for this year they've already reported $2.6 billion loss. And so they're just saying, well, we're not going to insure that. We're not going to insure this. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do this. No.
Yeah, and exactly. And my insurance company is telling me, I work with a German Shepherd, and you've never had a claim in 42 years. But the company that you're insured by, if somebody down in California that has the same insurance company and his dog bites somebody,
right,
you're on the hook. You're on the hook for that.
Well, it's almost like, well, we want to take your money, and we want to provide you a service, but now if you use us, we're going to penalize you. And that's crazy.
Rick, and I know you got to get off there, but Rick, does that sound like the mob, aka racketeering?
Well, it sounds like business is done different now than it used to be. That's for sure.
Well, I can hold on, Big Daddy.
Yeah, just hang on. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we'll finish talking about. I've got some other things I want to talk to you about on the RV world, and we see what we can't get you pointed in the right direction. Vance, take us to that time out. Put Brian back on hold, and then we'll come back shortly, and we'll continue the conversation about what you do and how you do it. You're listening to Rick's House live from the Sanders Plumbing Company studios of Praise 96.3. Hang on, youngins.
Now listen, if you've not been to Baker Boys, have y'all tried Baker Boys pizza yet? Oh my good gracious. Let me tell you something. It's on Cherry Street. If you get off on Cherry Street and turn toward Magnolia, and you'll see Baker Boys down there on the right. He's got a 30-inch pie, like not even got in my van and got the door closed. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, a slice of pizza feed 10 kids. Baker Boys Pizza is the place. I'm telling y'all, go by and see them and tell them that we sent you, and they're going to take care of you. They're going to be proud to see you, and they're going to be glad to feed you and your family. Great place for after church on Sundays. Go by and see the team at Baker Boys Pizza and tell them that Rick's House sent you.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing, quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here on 96.3 FM, Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales or service or parts or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we were on the road all over the United States, and they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV in on a trade. They can sell you a new RV, but most of all, they're going to treat you like family. You're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folk who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690, 865-599-1690.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House. Thanks for joining us on the program live in the Sanders Plumbing Company studios. Praise 96.3, your Praise 96.3 FM. And we're continuing our conversation with Brian this morning. We're talking a little bit about RVs, and I want to remind you, we are so excited about going to the our first live event.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. September 7th at Weekend RV Center. We're going to have a cruise in and all kinds of stuff happening. They're going to have super special event. We're having the annual end of the summer get ready for fall sales event. All new and pre-owned campers are on sale. Here's your chance to save thousands.
And it ain't on Kingston Bike.
I know, that's right. We got cash and gift cards giveaways every hour from 10 to 1. No purchase necessary to win. First off in the morning will be me, Rick Allen, doing the show from 8 to 10. I'll have some stuff to give away as well. We're going to have coffee and donuts. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to have food trucks there. And we're going to have classic Jeeps, cars, muscle cars, trucks, motorcycles, all welcome for the cruise in. It's going to be a great time, Vance. We're going to be out there.
Didn't you say something about
what?
Just lost my train of thought. Didn't you say something about the whoever travels the furthest?
Whoever travels the furthest is going to get a prize for that.
I'm pretty sure Brian could
come in. Yeah, Brian's a good time to come in. Get on the show and come down there and let's get you an RV to make mama happy. Are you with me, brother?
I'm with you. I certainly am.
Time for a road trip. Load the dogs up and come on.
I hear you, man. And believe me, I want to do that, and then hang out with Vance and buy him lunch.
Oh, well.
He's for that.
Yeah, I'm
He's
all about
picky,
lunch.
though. You know, he's so picky. He's the pickiest eater I
Well,
ever seen.
I'm
in
not
my
picky
life.
when it comes to white cheese sauce.
No, he
Queso.
yeah, he likes his white cheese sauce and he likes Baker Boy wings. So we've got that going on.
Queso on the wings, that'd be really good.
Oh, queso on the wings would be good. Y'all don't eat much of the white cheese dip out west, do you, Brian?
No, but my wife made something outstanding the other night. It was called hamburger cheeseburger soup.
Hamburger cheeseburger soup. That sounds interesting.
You lost me at soup.
Not me. I love soup. You know, when I was doing the weight loss surgery, soup became my friend because they have what's called a basil tomato soup recipe that I still make today. I made it yesterday. And it's just phenomenal, you know, because sometimes a grilled cheese and some tomato soup is hard to beat. But I don't like it to have a sweet taste to it. I don't want it to be sugary.
No,
and
not at all.
I don't dig that at all. So this is crushed tomatoes and Italian seasoning and basil and different things, little hot sauce in there and a Louisiana style hot sauce with a little vinegar kick to it, and man, it makes for a great tomato soup. And you know, you can eat all of it you want, which I don't eat that much anymore at all. I eat 2 or 3 bites and that's it. But for 2 hours and then I'm hungry again. But it works out good. That's what we had. I fixed for Amy last night. She had a grilled cheese and a grilled turkey and cheese actually, and homemade tomato basil soup.
You know,
what I found, and I didn't know that I would like this. That it's called a smashed burger. Have you heard that?
Oh yeah, they're real popular here.
Oh man, they just decided to be real popular here, and it's a smashed burger with cheese, nothing else on it, with lettuce and lettuce and some pickles, and basically that's all you got. And I'm telling you, that is something outstanding. But I started thinking about this and looking at it going, this must have been somebody's mistake, that they let the hamburger burn a little bit more, but then found out that this was really good.
It's deliciousness.
Never even heard of it.
You ain't heard of a smash burger?
No.
Oh man, that's a ticket. You start off with
The last time I was out west, it was like Farragut.
Yeah, it starts off in like a round thing, like a meatball, and then you smash it down real thin and grill it on, cook it on high and get it good and burnt on both sides. Oh, that's deliciousness. Melt some good cheese on it.
I tend not to burn meat.
Yeah, but try it this way, Vance. You might like that.
Okay.
You know, going forward. I thought the same thing. I'm not into this grilled burned burger, but I think personally somebody made a mistake and then said,
"Oh, that's pretty
hey,
good.
This is actually pretty good."
Turned out to be a good mistake.
Absolutely. No, but Brian, I'll have to agree with the missus that you know, there's just for me, as I have lived the RV lifestyle for some time now, it just and you know, when we were going from place to place to place and talking to other fellow vagabonds across the country, you know, there's just something to be said for having that dealer support like our friends at Weekend RV Center. I mean, it's, you know, I think there's a value there and an assurance that, you know, because there's so many things, just like this issue I had with the electrical outlet last week, you know, why it didn't kick the breaker, I have no idea. Of course, we changed everything. Electricians took care of it and got it, but we were just fortunate. And I mean, an RV is a big box of kindling. If you get an electrical short and it arcs, I mean, it can be a real problem. The other thing that we've noticed is, and I noticed I was looking at, and I meant to talk about this last week, and I don't think I did, but I was looking that the way my RV is leveled, you always tilt your travel trailer just a little bit so that the water runs off the roof. And ours actually has a gutter system on it. Now it's a small gutter, but it runs down both sides, and it has a little outlet that's a little 3-inch spout that lets the water come over and go off of the trailer. Well, I was looking up at the RV and I noticed this pink, like bubblegum pink, on the side of my trailer. And I was looking at that, and then I noticed that the water was running straight down. It wasn't going to the gutter, but it was running down the side of the trailer instead of going and running out the spout, so it didn't get on the trailer and dripping on top of the outdoor plug, which could have been part of the issue. But, you know, that plug had become loose. I think one of the horses in the field knocked it loose, and hence a loose connection
There you go.
is a point of heat. But I started looking at that stuff, and this is something that I learned last week that I guess I knew about it, but I never did. I never had seen it other than like in a, you know, in a restaurant, in a bathroom, in a shower, that kind of stuff. Is on the side of my RV, there's pink mold. You ever seen pink mold?
I have not.
Pink mold is a real thing.
Sounds trendy.
And pink mold is something that will make you sick in a
Oh, yeah.
heartbeat. And so what happened was there was some debris, and my gutter was bent just a little bit up on top. Don't know how I did it. Probably hit a tree somewhere in Colorado, you know, where it bent the gutter a little bit. So instead of it coming out and weeping out the gutter system and going away from the trailer, it actually was running. It's running down the side of the trailer. That's something we're going to fix today. But it's running down the side of the trailer, and where that water is built up, anytime you have a water buildup, you can develop this pink mold, and like it's toxic to touch it.
Any chance that it may have made its way in?
No, it's not in.
Okay, good.
It's on the outside, but it is pink. I mean, it's bubblegum pink. It's the weirdest looking thing. So
Never heard of that.
I called Xavier. I said, could that, because my first thought was, well, that's where the air conditioner is running on top of the travel trailer. So, you know, and it's 14,000, 15,000 BTU, and it's running full steam when it's 100 degrees. And so I thought, my first thought was, could that be fluid from the compressor? I thought, oh my goodness, please tell me my compressor is not going out on the AC. And because sometimes they'll put dyes in those things and color them, you know, so in the oil, but come to find out, it was merely pink mold. And, like I said, we're going to correct that problem today and do away with it. But that can be an issue. I mean, so it's those little maintenance things like that whether it's a house or whether it's a travel trailer or whether it's an RV or whatever it is, you're going to have those kinds of things. I just like the assurance, Brian, of knowing that a team like Weekend RV Centers went through it and have fixed the things they know to look for, because that's what they do every day. You know what I mean?
Of course. And the what I'm seeing in looking at RVs, etc., is that these people that are trying to sell these RVs are bragging that, hey, I've got a 1989 RV and I've got 12,000 miles on it. And my wife's looking at me going, well, obviously, how old is that RV and how long did it sit? And why are you looking at it? And I'm saying, well, because of the low mileage. And she's saying that low mileage doesn't mean a whole lot in the RV business.
It's really it's really opposite. You know, that low mileage means it's not been on the road much, and to me, that can lend more problems than an RV that's been used. And you know, I mean, you know how a car is when it sits. We talked about that. You know, it's not, you know, everything's not being lubricated, everything's not working, everything's not, you know, and I think it can be a disadvantage.
Well, the motor could seize.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That, and like I said, my buddy was putting a new motor in a Class A that had 14,000 miles on it. And I said, what's wrong with it? He said, the motor seized up. I said, at 14,000 miles? He said, yeah. I said, well, is it warranted? He said, no, it's too old. It's warranted by the mileage, but it's not warranted by its age. So no warranty. These people are spending another 20 grand to put a new motor in it.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
So Rick, is there going to be in the future, maybe a company realizing what this problem is with the mileage and etc. And the home or the motorhome owner saying, "Hey, man, I only put 18,000 miles on this, and it's a 1996, and I had to park it because I had family issues, and the generator works great. I replaced the tires, and I've had a tune-up, and the brakes seem to be working fine. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom." You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, it sounds like a good retirement business, Brian.
Yeah, I hear you.
We, you know, honestly, I mean, you think about, you know, we certify your RV. Need to talk to X about that.
You need to sell your business and move to Tennessee.
Yeah,
I'm
I've been working on him, brother. He's not. If he ever gets out here to God's country, he'll never leave.
No.
He'll just sell
wait a
his
minute.
house
I
from
don't know
here.
if that'd be good or bad. Get him out here. We might have to keep him.
Yeah, we'd have to keep him. He can make a tri-tip.
There you go.
Introduce the East Coast to tri-tip, because they're missing out on that, brother. I'm telling you. That's part of it. And the other thing is, you think about generators. I was reading an article last night as I was doing my show prep, and we were talking about, and the article was, how many hours is a generator good for? Can you run a generator continuously? And I read this whole article. It was about, I don't know, it's 5 or 6 pages of this article that they were talking about generators. And they were talking about whole house generators that are set on a pad versus portable generators versus generators that in RVs that run, you know, off the tank or whatever, whether it's an Onan or a Generac, or I use Power Horse generators. That I'm a fan. And I got to thinking, you know, and they were saying that your average generator is good in a portable generator, which is what I have. I have a 3,000 watt Power Horse generator that we run over the 3 years we were on the road. We run it a lot, and it never gave me 1 ounce of trouble until just recently. And I've had a switch go out that I hadn't replaced because I hadn't needed it, but that's something that we're going to do. But they were saying a portable generator is good for like 18 to 20 hours before you have to service it. And I'm sitting here thinking, I run my generator for 3 years nonstop for days at a time, just enough to cut it off and refuel it. And it's still running like a champion. So there's a lot of thought into that as well. You know, if a generator sets, worst thing in the world for it. If it's not running, I think that ours performed well, because I think that's a great brand. They're sold by Northern Supply. And I'm not a Northern Supply. I don't sell me nothing. I just did my research, and that's the generator I ended up with. And of course, Brian, you and I've talked about this. You know, if your generator runs off fuel, if it runs off gas or diesel, you know, you get one set of ratings. But if it runs off of propane, then you lose part of the power of that generator. It's not as efficient on propane as it is if it's running off of gas or diesel fuel. So I found that to be interesting. So, you know, there's another component in the RV world, because when you and Mama pull into Walmart to eat lunch or spend the night or boondock at BLM land, I'm going to tell you something. I want my generator running because Daddy wants air, and I want to watch the ball game. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I do, Rick. And I didn't mean to cut you off. So the bottom line is, what, being a used RV, what is a good name brand to go to the dealership and say, this is what I'm looking at to purchase, and this is the vehicle name brand that I'm looking for?
Well, it's kind of like heat and air units. There are only really and truly, if you look at and X will tell you this, and Tyler and the team over there that will tell you, if you look at the RV world, it may be a Coachman, it may be a Forest River, it may be a Chaparral, it may be a Rockwood, it may be whatever. But when you look at those brands, there's only a few companies that sell them all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, Janitrol heat and air unit, they sell Janitrol, and then they sell others, and Carrier makes about 10 different kinds, and Train makes a whole bunch of different ones. And So you're really down to a few manufacturers, and then the only difference between them is features and benefits. I myself, I know that I told you about Pneumatic Fanatic, I think on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's a firm believer in a Coachman product for Class C.
What is your opinion professionally on and off the record on Winnebago?
I've always kind of been a Winnebago fan because when I was a kid, and the only reason I have this is my uncle and my aunt over in North Carolina, they had a Winnebago that they would come and meet us at the lake, and so I spent a lot of time in it, and they had really good success out of that product. I think that, and I think this lends itself before we go the next time out. But just like I was talking last week, when we went to look for a washing machine and a dryer for our travel trailer, because I'm going to tell you something, going to the laundromat is not for me. When you're traveling on the road, you got to load everything up, got to take it to the laundromat. You don't know what's been washed in there before you, and I'm not about that. That's the reason I like an RV or a travel trailer, because I like my own dirt and that kind of thing. So this is what Amy said to me as I was researching that. She said, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "Sure." She said, "Look at the reviews." She said, "Look at the Google reviews." She said, "Look and see how many reviews that they've had, and then look at what the women say." I said, "Well, that makes sense. The ladies are doing, in most homes, are doing most of the washing and most of the drying." She said, "So look at the reviews and tell me," she said, "here's the features I want. Now it's your job to pick out which one to buy." She said, "I'll leave that to you, but this is what I want." So when I went on and I looked at reviews, I ended up buying a brand of washing machine, but I bought a different dryer from a different company because of the reviews that I read on Google about what the ladies said. So I would lend, as far as, I haven't looked that much at RVs, because that's something I'm going to be doing in the very near future, because like I said, once we move to a house, we're going to downsize, because I don't want to be dragging a 40-foot trailer all over the country when we go to visit our kids in Florida or whatever. It's just too much trouble. My mobility doesn't allow me to do that anymore. But I'm going to look at the reviews, see what people are saying, see what problems they've had. Every RV company has a form, and you can go in there and read the RVs, and people will post, "Well, I've got a 2020, 306 MM, which is what I have, Forest River, and here's the problems we've had." Now we've been fortunate. Forest River also makes a class. They make a Class A and a Class C, and they make that line of RVs. We have had good success with Forest River. It's a good medium line company. In terms of, you're going to get features you want. It's going to be nice. It's held up well. We've had good success with it. But it's not going to give you the bells and whistles. It's a $40,000 travel trailer, not a $80,000 travel trailer. But to me, I can't spend that kind of money, but I didn't have the difference between 40 and 80 for what was achieved was not a good value for me. So I would think more about, I would look at the reviews. I would look at the customer forums and see, as far as I know, Winnebago's still making a good product. The only thing that you have to be careful with, and this is truth with every company out there, when a company reaches, some companies in today's society, Brian, and you know this as well as I do before we go to our next time out, you have to be careful, because companies today sometimes will ride on their name. They've got a certain reputation, and they'll let quality slip to make more money because of that reputation, and they'll ride on their name. That's why you got to look at the reviews. So if I was looking at a Coachman, if I was looking at a Winnebago, I'd pick out a model I liked, and then I'd Google it, and I'd see what people are saying, because people will tell you.
And I appreciate that, and I guess I'll throw this at you before we have to go to a break.
Mm-hmm.
myself and my wife were looking at an RV. And that being said, would you recommend not having pop-outs going forward?
That's a good question. We're going to answer that after the timeout. Hang on, Brian. We're going to answer that question, and I'm going to tell you what I think about that coming up next. You're listening to Rick's House on Your Praise 96.3 in the Sanders Plumbing Company studios. We're talking all things RV and mold and mildew and everything about your house. Hang on, y'all. We're going to answer that question.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing. Quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. And let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hey, y'all, being from the country, I've learned one thing for sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and a bad one. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House. Thanks for joining us on the program. Appreciate you listening to us live in the Sanders Plumbing Company studios. Praise 96.3, your Praise 96.3, as we're jumping around talking about all kinds of things today. Listen, folks, I want to remind you that coming up on Saturday, September the 7th, we got a huge event coming up on the program. We'll be doing a live remote from our friends at Weekend RV Center, having a super special event. They're having their annual end of the summer, get ready for fall sales event. All new and pre-owned campers are on sale. Here's your chance to save thousands off the MSRP. There's going to be cash, gift cards from 10 to 1. No purchase necessary. First off, that morning, we're going to do our show live from there. We'll have coffee and donuts till 10, and I'll have some stuff to give away from Rick's House. And then on top of that, we're going to do a classic car, Jeep, muscle car, truck, motorcycle cruise in out at Weekend RV Center. It's going to be a great opportunity. Come see us out at 1458 Clinton Highway in Clinton, Tennessee on Saturday, September the 7th. I can't wait to get there. Now, Brian's been chatting with us this morning about RVs, and Brian, I did a little Googling during the time out, and you know, I Googled best RV Class C's for value by brand, and it reminded me of some brands that I haven't mentioned on the program. And here's the brands that are rated highly by listeners and by folks out there who are Googling. Thor Motor Coach. Now they do diesels class A, B, B plus, C, and Super C. The Thor Super C RV is really something to look at. That's something else. Also, Holiday Rambler, another brand. And here's one that I see a lot of and heard good things about is a Gulfstream. And then, of course, Forest River, which is what I have, and I've had great success with them. Although I will say that sometimes Forest River is a little tough to work with, but the product has been good for us. Fleetwood is another brand, and then Coachman. And then there's others out there too, but those are some of the brands that are listed in number one, the top RVs by class and by views for Google reviews. Also, the Jayco, there's a Jayco, what they call a Jayco Red Hawk Class C, which is a really neat 32-foot RV, sleep six, one slide, bunk over cab, U-shaped dinette, and so forth. So Jayco, another good company that we used to have a Jayco dealer here, but they're no longer in business. But the Jayco company has produced. I had a friend that I worked at the radio station with, and they are diehard Jayco Class C RV people, and they that's all they'll drive. So those are some of the ones I would suggest to take a look at and see what you do. Jayco does a great job too. So,
well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate that. But then again, when I heard you say donuts and Vance, did he just burn out of the parking lot and head to the donut shop?
I fed him biscuits and gravy this morning.
Okay,
ahead,
I was just double checking. When you said donuts and Vance, that reminds me of somebody jumping in his car and headed over to the donut shop.
Well, that's going to happen around 11 or 12.
Yeah, this is a guy who puts strawberry jelly on his sausage biscuit.
Well, yeah, who doesn't?
I don't.
Oh,
that don't work for me.
You're strange. You're from the country, so
I am from the country. I am from the country. That's
he puts
for sure.
lard on his sausage.
I put what on my sausage?
Lard on your sausage.
Absolutely.
Biscuit.
That's all a biscuit is lard and flour.
True.
Yeah, very, very true. So Rickster, going forward, if you know my situation, are you off the record saying, hey, stay away from these pop outs?
No. And let me tell you why. This is what I'll say about the slides. If you're going to spend much time in an RV traveling, you're going to want those slides. It just opens it up so much. I mean, our living room goes from 8 by 12 to 16 by 12 when the slides are out. Now that's a huge difference. It's a huge difference when it's just Amy and I, but if we have somebody, we're camping and somebody comes over from next door, or the kids want to come, or, you want to just stretch your legs a little bit, it allows us that space to do that. And the other thing is I would look at the bathroom. The slides are going to require maintenance. They're going to require you to do a few things. I'd make sure I had the awnings over the slides. I'd make sure I kept them lubricated, maintenance properly, and I worked on the weather stripping around them to keep that pliable and soft. You're going to have a little maintenance, but the benefit of having that extra space, having that couch back in each one of them, or whatever's in there that opens that floor up, it's the difference in night and day. It's just, to me, it is the value of the added space outweighs the maintenance. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
That makes sense to me. The other thing about it is you want to check the bathroom, and you want to make sure you've got adequate space in the bathroom. That's another issue that can drive you crazy. I'm a big fella still. I've lost a lot of weight, about 145 pounds. And I'm still losing about 5 to 8 pounds a month. And, we're doing that. But our bathroom, our shower in our bathroom is 32 wide and 47 long and has a seat in it. So for a big fella like myself, you know, and for my bride, who's not big at all, she's a little tiny thing, but it allows her to get in and do girl stuff, you know, things girls have to do. You know, the other thing is I would never, ever own another RV that did not have a constant hot water source in it. That's the best thing we ever did. I should have done it day one. I'd change out that 6-gallon water heater the first thing I got and put that constant continuous hot water system in there that it just makes life. I mean, when you can sit in there and as long as you've got water and propane, you've got a hot shower, that makes mama happy. And if mama's happy, everybody's happy. So, you know, those are the things. Most everybody. Yeah. But I would not say, to me, the benefit of the slides are great. The other thing that you want to look at, Brian, when you're looking at that is, for instance, one of the things that I didn't realize was in our travel trailer, we've got two doors. We've got a door that comes into the kitchen area at the living room, and then we've got a door that comes into the master bedroom. So when we were traveling and we had to stop on, you know, pull off at a rest area to use the restroom or whatever, then we could go back and we could open the door into the bedroom, go through the bedroom and use and access the bathroom so that we could, you know, use the restroom and do those kinds of things if need be or whatever. However, we have a slide in the kitchen that has the dinette in it. Well, in order to get to the kitchen to make a sandwich, you have to run that slide out. Now,
wow,
which if used to, and it depends. This is the other thing you got to think about when you think about manufacturers. So there's basically different types of slides in these hydraulic slides. The way that ours works, and this, I don't like this. This is something that I'm not a fan of, but I didn't realize it because I didn't know, you know, but I've learned it now. The way our slides work is we have one button that we also have on board. We have Wi-Fi, and so we use our phones for Wi-Fi because we got a good deal through Visible on that. It's $35 a month for unlimited and streaming and all that kind of stuff. So my phone is connected to my travel trailer. So when we stop somewhere and I know we're going to go get in the kitchen, let the dogs get water and eat and make a sandwich and do all that kind of stuff, I can take my phone and connect to my Wi-Fi on my travel trailer, and I can turn my lights on, open my slides by using my phone, using my smartphone. But here's the problem. The way the slides work in the Forest River that I have is that when you press the button to let the slides out, I can't pick which slide I want to open. I can't open only the kitchen slide. What happens is when you push the button to open the slides, whichever slide has the least amount of resistance is the one that opens first, and then it goes to the next one and the next one. That's aggravating because I basically have to run all three slides out to get the kitchen slide open. Well, that's an issue when I only want to open the kitchen slide. I don't want to open the living room slides. I don't need to be in the living room. All I need to do is get to the kitchen and the bathroom. So that's something that you want to make sure, because the other thing that you can do is some RVs there's right underneath the shower, there's the hydraulic pump for the slides. And so you got three slides, you've got three valves in there. So once you determine which valve controls which slide, you can turn that valve off. So I could turn my two slides off in my living room and then leave the slide on that only runs out the kitchen. I've never done that, but technically you can do it. But you should be able to do it. Well, that's kind of an aggravation. You know, I just want to be able to say, okay, I want to open the kitchen slide and be done.
Yeah, there should be three buttons.
There should be three buttons. But for whatever reason, I don't know, I guess it's cheaper to do it that way or whatever. They'll tell you it's technology or value or some stuff that don't make any sense. But, you know, that's another issue that we found. So, you know, I would make sure what I had to do when I stopped, because when you know, if I'm not level, you know, then that means when I stop at a Walmart or a Cabela's or on the side of the at the rest area, I got to get to as flat and as level a place as I can, because they don't want you to put your stabilizer jacks down, and then you're running your slides out, and it's real easy to get them in a bind. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do.
Did I lose Brian?
Nope,
There you
you
are.
still got me.
So,
fell
you know,
asleep.
it's those little things that are more important to me now. You know, there's going to be a set standard across the board. I would, like I said, I would look at what the reviews say about brands, and I'd look at the Jayco, the Forest River. I'd look at Thor. I'd look at, you know, Coachman. I'd look at Gulfstream, and, you know, and Winnebago too. I mean, you know, and just see what the reviews say.
If you're going to look at Thor, you better watch out for his hammer.
That's right.
You know, my wife is telling me, she goes, I like the Ford front end. I don't like the long version of the motorhome like a school bus.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, we can hook up our car trailer and head from Washington State to your neck of the woods during the summertime and be able to enjoy the fun that we have and be able to be comfortable in a little bit shorter of a motorhome. Does that make sense?
It does. And I would agree with that. And that's where I'm in right now. I mean, like I said, our travel trailer is great. And, you know, we thank the world of the job it's done for us. And we've had very little problem with just the normal, it's living in it full time. We've had very little problem with it. I've been very satisfied. You know, but the other things that you have to think about are that convenience. And, you know, like I said, now that I've gotten older and my mobility is not as good as it was, it would be very difficult for us to pull that 40-foot mobile home. We're 65 feet long with the truck. And, you know, that's just difficult, you know, and I've got a Class C driver's license and can drive about anything, but still the aggravation. And plus, if you're going to stay in national parks, when you start getting over 30 feet, a lot of national parks, you can't get in there, you know? And so you look at the difference in staying in a national park for $10 a night versus staying in a campground for 60. You know what I mean? So you can eat up a bunch of money right fast.
My wife was telling me, you know, I'm looking and she's kind of looking. We're going to be retiring, business for sale. People are looking at to buy us. And she's saying that, you know, what about these car haulers that have basically a motorhome setup in the car hauler? Have you seen those?
I have. They're very popular.
And very expensive.
Yeah, they are. They're very expensive, but they are very popular. And I've just seen my nephew just said, "Good morning, Thomas. Hope you do good at JV football." My nephew's son is going to be playing for William Blount for JV this morning, so we're looking forward. Hope he does well there. Thank you, son. Good. Thanks for reaching out. Tim and Janet Williams listening to us this morning. Great folks down in Fort Payne, Alabama. They went to strictly full time, but love what they do down there in Fort Payne at their campground. But yeah, it's car haulers are really popular because you've got a garage, and if you've got toys, you've got those toys in there. And then typically what happens in a car hauler is you've got a bed that goes to the ceiling, and then when you want to back the cars or motorcycles or side by sides or whatever you've got in there that you want to get out, then you've got a space where you can drop that queen size or king size bed down. It wouldn't work for us, but it does give you a large space for entertaining and those kinds of things if that's your thing. You know, and so but they are more expensive.
And I appreciate that. And I'm more into the motorhome setup where it's kind of like home. I've got my dog with me, you know, that type of deal. we're just trying to figure out something that is not going to be, like I explained to you, that we're seeing massive ads of, yes, we've got this wonderful motorhome. It's only got 28,000 miles on it, but it's a 1986.
Right.
And there's a red flag there. And like I told my wife, we just need to go to a motorhome dealership and look at their used lot and find out what guarantee that they're going to have going forward on their used motorhomes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the path I would take, and I would look at some of those brands that I mentioned to you and see what the Google reviews are and go from there. Brian, I appreciate you this morning. Thank you so much for taking time out to visit with us. That's been an interesting conversation, and I appreciate you listening to us.
Well, thank you so much, Rick, and your expert advice means a heck of a lot to me.
I don't know about expert, but I do flip my jaws.
Yeah, he's no expert.
And since I've been hooking up with Vance and he's my new best friend, it all works out great.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you, brother, and I'm gonna. We got to take a time out now. Are we good for right now?
Oh, we're good for right now.
We're good for right now. Okay, brother. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day.
You too, and thanks again, Rick, for taking my call, and I'll be looking forward to chatting with you next week.
You got it, brother.
Behave yourself, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
You as well, Vance. Thank you.
All righty. Good stuff on the program. It was an interesting conversation, to talk about as I begin to move into that same era. And Amy and I are talking about what we're going to do next for, traveling as we go to see grandbabies and do all that kind of stuff. I wanted to take a time out here for a moment to tell you about Anita again at Cozy Mountain Cabins. If you're looking for a bedroom, 2-bedroom, or you're looking for a 10-bedroom, she can help you with that. It's Cozy Mountain Cabins, Cozy with a Z, CozyMountainCabins.com. And if you've not stayed with them, man, it's a place to stay. You can call Anita directly at 865-660-0340, 865-660-0340, or find them online and look at the cabins that they have. It's awesome. She does a great job. CozyMountainCabins.com. And Kathy, good to see you in there this morning. And Kathy and Steve Fowl down in Georgia, great friends of the program, are our neighbors in the campground in Fort Payne for a long time. And like I said, Miss Kathy makes the best street tacos you ever ate in your life. I mean, that girl can cook. So we've got that going on. I was thinking about storage ideas. One of the things you learn when you live in a small space is that you learn how to utilize storage. And my wife, actually, this was her thoughts. And so, big bulky things are tough to have enough storage. I mean, we've got a pretty good sized pantry in our RV or in our travel trailer, and we've got decent closet space, but that's something that you're always looking for. And one of the things that we always had a problem with was trying to find a place to put towels. You fold a towel up, that takes especially a towel that I use, because it takes a beach towel to dry me off. But anyway, so when you think about towels, and I saw this idea that what we do is in our bathroom, in our travel trailer, we have a medicine cabinet. You got a sink and a medicine cabinet, and the medicine cabinet stops about 6 inches from either side wall. So what Amy does is when she washes, or I wash, whichever one of us is doing laundry for the week, she rolls those towels up, into a cylinder type roll, and she stuffs them in between our medicine cabinet and the wall and stacks them up both sides. And that holds all the towels that we have and does a great job. But I was thinking last night, I saw this. If you take your towel bars, now think about a towel bar. How many towels can you put on a towel bar? 2 or 3?
Well, just how many you want there?
Yeah, I mean, you put 2 or 3 towels on. If your towel bar is running horizontally, you can get 2 or 3 towels on there. Yeah. So this idea said to take your towel bars and take a piece of wood and hang them vertically.
Yeah. Then the towels will go.
Then you roll the towels up and slide them in between the 2 towel bars.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
And that's exactly what Vance was saying. And that makes it makes for a really good way to get more space, out of that towel bar. It just does a fantastic job. And it's those little tricks like that make living. And I think Brian said something as we were talking during our conversation about, he said, we want to feel like we're at home when we're on the road. And that's basically what I think one of the best things that you can think about as you're looking at that vacation travel trailer, that vacation RV, those kinds of things. And that's basically what we've done. We wanted to be comfortable. We wanted the dog and the cat to be comfortable. We wanted me and Mama to be comfortable. We wanted to be able to, when we pulled into a Walmart or we pulled into a Cabela's or into a Cracker Barrel or wherever, BLM land or wherever we were staying for a day or two, we wanted to be able to set up quickly, not kill ourselves having to set up, and we wanted to be in comfort. In 15 minutes when we were on the road, we could have slides out, everything that you have to put down, back up, power on, AC running, what we cooking for supper, ball games on. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal.
That's the line.
That's the goal, and that's what we tried to do when we did that.
Let's take a break now.
Let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more as we finish it up. I can't believe where the times went this morning. You're listening to Rick's House live in the Praise 96.3 studios. That's the Sanders Plumbing Company studios during Rick's House. We'll be right back, y'all.
Now listen, if you've not been to Baker Boys, have y'all tried Baker Boys pizza yet? Oh my good gracious. Let me tell you something. It's on Cherry Street. If you get off on Cherry Street and turn toward Magnolia, and you'll see Baker Boys down there on the right. He's got a 30-inch pie, like not even got in my van and got the door closed. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, a slice of pizza feed 10 kids. Baker Boys Pizza is the place. I'm telling y'all, go by and see them and tell them that we sent you, and they're going to take care of you. They're going to be proud to see you, and they're going to be glad to feed you and your family. Great place for after church on Sundays. Go by and see the team at Baker Boys Pizza and tell them that Rick's House sent you.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show, right here on 96.3 FM, Praise FM. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales or service or parts or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we were on the road all over the United States, and they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV in on a trade. They can sell you a new RV, but most of all, they're going to treat you like family. You're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folk who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing. Quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
Got a question? Rick's got the answers for all your home improvement questions. It's Rick's House. Home improvement advice done right.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to the Sanders Company studios at Praise 96.3. Sanders Plumbing Company, great place for you to get that plumbing work done. Pete's just he can do about anything. He's all around good guy, and we saw some of his artwork on Facebook this week, Vance. I know that you've seen some of the creations. He puts that stuff's in his office. It's really cool. Call them and they'll take care of you. They want to be your plumber, man.
What about that conference table he made?
Oh, I know. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it is.
It's really cool. So check that out as well. I was thinking about this past week that, we have, I never thought about electricity's not my thing. And that was my dad was an electrician. He told me to choose another career. I get shocked with the breaker off. It just wasn't my thing. But there's an important distinction that I realized this week. And I thank goodness I was doing it anyway. But it's something that I didn't really think about. The difference in what you're looking for when you talk about extension cords. Now, don't buy that $2 extension cord that's 6 feet long and put 14 candle lights on it for Christmas. It's not built to do that. It's not grounded. It's two plugs system. It's don't do that. There's a difference between extension cord versus power cord. Now, the National Fire Protection Agency, the NFPA, says extension cords are designed for temporary use, and unlike standard power cords, should never be used to permanently connect a major appliance. The NFPA emphasizes that choosing the wrong extension cord for the situation can increase the risk of shock, overheating, and equipment damage. And there's a lot of truth to that. You say, well, Rick, what's the difference between an extension cord and a power cord? Well, it's the same thing that you got to think about. The second question is, well, is it a power cord like for my computer? Is it a power cord for an appliance? Is it something that's designed to be plugged up and used? It's heavier duty. Now you think about, well, and I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, but there's a difference. There are indoor cords and there are outdoor cords. And there's indoor outdoor cords, but the difference between an indoor extension cord and an outdoor extension cord is a huge difference. And using one in the wrong place, an indoor cord going outside is a bad idea. Now, outdoor extension cords have a durable jacket coating to resist severe weather conditions. They'll also be rated about temperature, how they will function and perform in high temperatures like we're having right now, or in low temperatures like we have in the wintertime. An indoor cord can overheat. And then if it overheats, then you get in some problems. Also, if you got high traffic indoor areas, consider using a covered extension cord designed to lay flat, or, making sure. I know that when we do live remotes and things, we always have to tape those cords down because you don't want somebody coming by and tripping over it. That's an issue. And it depends on the power requirements. Yes, I know that if you're going to go to a 12-3 cord, which is the same type of wire that you're using that is used in your house, it's going to run certain things. But if you're going to run generators or large appliances or large things like that, sometimes we've got to drop down to a 10 gauge or even an 8 gauge cord. And those are more expensive, but it's not more expensive than there's nothing worse than underpowering something and that cord getting hot, or the machine not working at full performance because it's getting hot. So you got to look at how many amps you're pulling. You got to look at the cover. You got to look at what the situation is, where the cord's going, and what it's going to be exposed to. Those things are really important. And so that's the way that you make sure that you don't get yourself in a situation where you've got an issue that could burn your house to the ground, or wake up on fire, as they say. We don't want anybody to do that. We were talking a little bit today as we finish up on the program about the difference between mold and mildew, and the health effects that it can have. And I was talking about that's the first time we've ever encountered, in all the 3 years we were on the road, that's the first time we've ever encountered pink mold on the outside of our travel trailer. But what's the difference between, how do you tell if it's mold or if it's mildew? Well, here's some key signs that you can utilize to know the difference. Mold typically is fuzzy.
Yes.
Has a raised appearance to it, almost a hair-like appearance. Mold does. It's darker shades of black, green, or red, being pink mold. It's often confused for dirt. Produces allergens that can trigger allergic reaction and asthma attacks, like Vance is having behind the microphone in there. Produces potent toxin and or irritants. Mold is serious. Mildew, on the other hand, is white and gray in appearance in its early stages, typically turns brown. It's flat, powdery almost.
Yeah, and it's not fluffy.
Yeah, it's small dots, and it causes minor respiratory issues. Things to prevent mold and mildew. And this is the thing in a camper that you have to be concerned about, because think about it. You're in a metal box, and that metal box has certain amounts of insulation depending on, what you're doing. And you always want to look at that. Is this a 3-season camper, a 2-season camper, or is it a 4-season camper? Is the camper being predominantly sold up north where air conditioning specs will be less because it's cooler? Or will it be sold down south where air conditioner specs will be higher because of the heat that you have to deal with, or out west? So trying to keep humidity levels low between 30 and 50% can be very difficult in a travel trailer. There are some, and we're going to talk about next week, we'll probably talk about dehumidifiers and some things we have, but using dehumidifiers, fans, opening windows, especially during the humid months, letting it breathe. You got to make sure it breathes. We don't stop water. We manage water. Water is not your friend. There's only 2 things good underwater. One's a fish, and the other's a submarine, and your travel trailer and your house ain't either one. So you want to make sure that you don't let water in. And the way that we do that is by managing that water and putting it off in different directions. Make sure you don't have leaking roof. Make sure you're ventilating your bathrooms when you take a shower, laundry rooms, kitchens, basements, damp areas. Make sure you dry that water up. Don't leave it. And of course, regularly inspecting your house or your travel trailer for signs of leaks, like cracked masonry if on the house, or window frames, or in your window frames. Sometimes the water will come down and buckle the wallpaper. And also testing for mold and mildew is an important thing to do when you're living in a travel trailer, or even traveling in a travel trailer. We didn't have those issues when we were out west. It just wasn't an issue. It's just something that you don't have to worry about because we were in a dry climate. But when you get back in the south, where you've got humidity and moisture and all those things working against you, it's an important thing to make sure that you're following up with those moisture levels and making sure that you're keeping that down. It's a good way to keep from getting sick. That's an important part of what you do each and every day when you're dealing with the mold and mildew that you have to deal with when you're working, to make sure that you keep that squared away. So what you want to do is make sure that happens. Make sure that you keep that dry. Make sure that you stay on top of it so you can be happy and healthy. And I want to make sure that you guys come and see us. We'll be going live on September the 7th at our friends out at Weekend RV Center for the big end of summer, beginning of fall sale and live remote. We'll be there live from 8 to 10, and then have food trucks there from 10, be a cruise in, and all those kinds of things happening. So we appreciate that. Vance, thank you for what you do every day. We appreciate all you've done today, and thank y'all for listening to us. Stay tuned for William the Encourager. Inspiring to Succeed with William the Encourager. He does a great job. I enjoy listening to him. God bless you. Hug those babies. Kiss mama. Tell her you love her. You'll be glad you did. Thanks for listening to us. God bless you. We'll see you next time right here on Rick's House next Saturday, 8 to 10. God bless you.